All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. We are excited to dig into the many ways that automation can help you increase leads and loyalty. If you're new to Jotform, welcome. Jotform offers a suite of no-code solutions designed to help organizations collect, share, and manage their data. It all starts with our incredibly powerful drag and drop form builder. I'm grateful to have two of my colleagues joining us today. Morgan, our product education manager, will be answering your questions in the chat. And Kat, our manager of enterprise customer success, will provide a quick demo to show you how to put these ideas into practice. One final note, this webinar is being recorded and it will be posted to our YouTube channel, so I'll have that for your future reference. Let's go ahead and get started. Here's a quick overview of today's topics. First, we'll share some fast facts about the financial services landscape. Next, we'll highlight how digitalization is changing financial services. Then we'll share some strategies for engaging leads. We'll also explore ways to streamline client services and reporting. Then we'll look at ways to build trust and meet compliance. At the end of all that, Kat will give a quick demo so you can see these ideas in practice. And after that, we'll highlight some resources to help you learn more. And finally, we'll wrap up with a little Q&A. Let's go ahead and dive in. Trust is critical in the financial services business. Getting people to simply talk about money is one thing. Getting them to trust you to manage it is quite another. The good news is the Edelman Trust Barometer shows that trust in financial services is increasing. To maintain that momentum, you should consistently look for ways to earn the trust of prospects. And additionally, you'll want to continually remind customers why they trust you to steer them toward financial independence. A recent update from JP Morgan's Guide to the Markets showed that while consumers aren't as wary as they were a year ago, they're still concerned about prolonged high interest rates. Retail spending behavior hasn't changed dramatically, but people are looking for cheaper options and leaning on debt as their dollar doesn't go quite as far. In a nutshell, consumers need their money to work more for them than ever, even as their ability to save diminishes. That's why, as a financial advisor, you need to maximize your time so you can drive the most leads while delivering the best service. So, why embrace digitalization? Digitalization is what enables automation. Digitizing paper speeds up virtually every process for both you and your customers. It's cheaper and easier to manage information digitally, especially given the printing, recycling, and storage that paper files require. Digital services let you and your customers take advantage of mobile capabilities, as well as access to instant information and feedback. The $84 trillion Great Wealth Transfer that will put money into the hands of many digital natives is another reason to look seriously at ways to modernize your practice with a no-code app or an automated educational newsletter. Modernizing your practice doesn't necessarily mean investing in a lot of software. You may find it possible to replace disparate systems that might have been pieced together in haste at the onset of COVID with a single holistic system. Many open API and no-code solutions make integration with existing technology seamless, so you can manage data, collect e-signatures, and automate reporting and workflows. The less time you spend on administrative tasks, the more time you'll have to spend with clients. Automation can be used to funnel leads, track referrals, and improve business analytics. Engage new customers with risk surveys that result in surprising and educational content to get them thinking about long-term wealth creation in new ways. Use forms on your website and in email communications to make it easy for individuals to refer you and automate the flow of client onboarding and outreach. Customize client experiences by creating dynamic forms with conditional logic that represent relevant information based on customer inputs. For example, instead of presenting a risk score at the end of an application, you could show them how their choices could show up in dollars lost during a downturn and link to a resource about the basics of investing and compound interest. Automation can also help you streamline processes on the back end of your business. Once you've collected information about your clients with an onboarding application or survey, you can automate communications to assign them to an advisor or flag their interests in specific investment vehicles or services. You can also automate reports to get real-time analytics on client segmentation, which products and services are in demand, and your overall book of business. With online forms, you can leverage e-signatures to streamline client agreements or change requests. You can also quickly check the status or view audit trails of signature documents. Many organizations use approval workflows to automate review processes and gather feedback across departments. Rather than sending emails and attachments back and forth, automation allows you to set rules and automate routine processes, speeding turn times and providing at-a-glance status updates for each transaction. Workflows can also be built to manage communications, send emails, and process individual and team decisions. Having a modern digital workspace also enables team collaboration from remote offices and access to data via mobile apps and email notifications. Financial services is a business based on relationships, but it's also heavily focused on numbers. Automated and real-time reporting can make it easier to answer your clients' questions and maintain consistent communication. To keep teams updated on the latest client information, you can embed form responses and reports in an email scheduled to go out at specific intervals. Automated reporting can also help you quickly analyze new business initiatives, such as events, webinars, and customer satisfaction surveys. We started this webinar talking about trust, so let's wrap things up with a few notes on how to leverage automation to build trust and meet compliance. First, ensure any solution you consider enables you to create consistent brand experiences to build trust. Regardless of the channels you use, your client communications should be on brand, so there's no hesitation to click a link, respond to an invitation, or forward a referral. Second, look to leverage automation to add value by sending thought leadership, promoting educational events and webinars, and sharing tips and advice to nurture new leads and reward current clients. Lastly, any move to a digital automated framework should be backed by the highest security standards. Look for capabilities that will enable you to track and audit data submissions, report on individual customers, and ensure privacy with role-based access and administrative controls. Ask about specific features you may need, including SSO integration, form encryption, payment processing, HIPAA solutions, whatever is necessary to run your business. Okay, I feel like I've done enough talking about automation and all it can do for your business. I promise you this is all possible and it doesn't have to be difficult. So let's shift gears now so you can see exactly how these ideas show up in practice. I'd like to introduce my colleague, Kat, who is going to demonstrate how you can put automation to work with a few quick clicks. Go ahead and take it away, Kat.
Wonderful. Thank you, Lainey. All right, I'll get sharing my screen here. And hi, everybody. I am very happy to be here to be able to give a brief demo of Jotform Enterprise. Today, I'm going to be showing you a couple of different views. We are working within our demo enterprise environment, as you'll see in the Jotform logo in the top left-hand corner. So if you're already using Jotform Enterprise, or if you're a Jotform standard user, this is going to be a little familiar. I do also want to mention that today we're working within a non-HIPAA environment, but I do also want to note that Jotform Enterprise offers dedicated HIPAA servers with SOC 2 compliance and also GDPR compliance solutions. If you do want more details on HIPAA environments and more, and you kind of want to see the back end of them, please don't hesitate to contact our team. Okay, with that said, let's just dive right in. So we're going to be working within a couple of forms that our lovely host Lainey has created for us in our demo. But this one here is going to be your default landing page when you log into any enterprise server. These are the forms that I own as an individual user. We're going to be working though within our team here. So these are the ones that Lainey has created. As you can see that she's created them here. we're going to work within our team workspace. Now, Teams is a feature that is exclusively multi-user in an enterprise environment. So all assets and their corroborating data created and kept within a team will be owned by the team as an entity instead of the user. And creating any entity, any kind of Jotform asset within a team is a really great way to ensure that even if the creator of the asset leaves or is removed from the team, then all formatting, data, and asset will be secured within the team. So again, Lainey is the creator of these forms, apps, other assets that we've created within the team here. But due to the permissions she's afforded me, I can also create, edit, and collaborate freely within the team. Now, I can, of course, if we go back, I can create individual forms within the My Forms dashboard here that we saw earlier. But again, we're going to be working within this team workspace today. If you want to learn more about that, please make sure to check out our YouTube channel and website. We have great videos and guides on that. Okay, so let's click into one of the forms that we've created for this demo. Now, I've gone ahead and favorited a couple of forms that we'll be utilizing, and you'll also see that we have organized some of the forms into different folders here. That's a really good way and if we want to, go ahead and just drag and drop this into, let's see, internal forms if we want to. You'll see that it will label it there. It's a nice way to keep that organized. But this is the one. That isn't the one. It's actually going to be the client onboarding form that I'm going to be clicking into. Again, to avoid that, you can always favorite it there. And I would just click into edit form here. So I've already got that queued up, but again, we would just click into edit form from the team workspace. Now, as we click into the form builder, you'll notice that I've set a particular theme to this form. Now, this can be from a template that you've utilized once you create the form itself. We do have a plethora of pre-built industry-specific templates. This one here, we've gone in, utilized a template, and kind of made it our own. So I've set this particular theme for this example, this image, theme, color scheme, more. It can be customized to match your company. This is especially useful if you have brand standards that are expected on a global scale. On an enterprise server as well, you can create certain theme templates for your form, and then you can save and share them among your server users to ensure that your forms are always on brand and they're adhering to any internal policies that you might have, especially for external facing assets. You can even get down to the custom CSS code. But once we've got the look down, building out the form is as easy as dragging and dropping any of the desired form elements into your form. You've got your basic form elements like name, email, file upload fields to collect one or multiple files on your form, and of course, signatures, really anything you could want in a form builder you can add here. We're going to chat a little bit more about the signatures later on in the demo. We do also have over 300 widgets to help collect and display information, among other things. One of my favorite widgets is the PDF Embedder widget. This allows you to embed a static PDF within your form. Another favorite is the Terms and Conditions widget here, which often goes hand in hand with the PDF Embedder widget, but it can also be linked out to an external web page for your respondents to read and agree to prior to submission. One thing that I did want to showcase, especially as we're chatting about form building and digitizing processes, is our Smart PDF tool. So I'm just going to click back into our team workspace here. Now, this is especially useful if you have an existing PDF that you want to turn into a digital form. So our Smart PDF tool does that thinking for you. So to go ahead and create a Smart PDF form, we would just go Create, Form. We would select Import Form, select PDF, and then upload our chosen PDF, and the system will add in any detectable fields automatically. You can then use a form builder to drag and drop additional fields, widgets, apply conditional logic, and more, similar to what we're already doing within our classic form builder here. Along the same lines, let's say that we have created our form within the classic form builder, but we have multiple PDFs that we need to ensure are sent to our form respondents post-submission. So if we click into settings, then emails. And we're going to add an email, autoresponder email. We can also do this on the notification email, but this is the email that is sent to our respondents. We do have a couple of options. Within the Advanced tab here, we can decide if we want to attach static PDFs, which we can go ahead and attach files here, like certificates or evergreen notifications or memos and more. Or we can toggle this on, and using our PDF editor, we can create multiple different PDFs that are dynamic. We can get to the PDF editor at any time here, or we can always click in to open the PDF editor from that email to see those different emails there. Now, you'll notice here that I've created a couple of different PDFs. We have, of course, our submission PDF that we can go in and utilize here. Again, like I said, the PDF editor uses our drag and drop technology. So we can just go ahead and customize this to our heart's content. You'll also notice that I have this thank you note, example thank you note here. Where I've gone in, I've added a couple of different images, and I can actually go in and I can kind of drag and drop and utilize the field tool there. We can go in and we can decide on the background image if we have one. You can customize the look and layout of your PDF, and you also have control over some of the PDF settings, like dictating the file name upon download and password protecting the PDF if you choose to do so. We can also select which PDF, if we head back to our form builder, that we would like to include in that specific email, and we can set conditions to send certain emails with certain PDFs based on our respondents' answers in our form. So let's save that one, and let's say that you have your form set up in a specific way. You've got the PDFs uploaded to certain emails, you have some conditions set, but you really want to ensure that your respondents are taking the correct path through your forms. Maybe you want to make their user experience easier too. Now, you can utilize one of our multiple different pre-fill options to manually or automatically set pre-fills from your own records, whether that's within Jotform with previous information from a form or a table. We do also have SSO pre-fill, which is exclusive to our enterprise users, or one of our many supported CRM integrations. And of course, you can do that externally through manual input. So now that we've got our respondents good to go, we've got some pre-fills set up, we've sent our form out, we want to ensure that those submissions go to the correct people, whether for approvals or even conditionally based on our submission data. So this is where our approval flows come in, so we can help streamline and automate those kinds of processes. So we've already built an approval process for this form, but as we go through this, please remember a couple of things. So I would just click in to edit this, but I've already, of course, got that queued up. Now, first, your approval flow can be as simple or as complicated as you need it to be. As you can see here, we have many different elements, including logic elements that can branch. So we have seen everything from a simple one-step flow to multiple upon multiple steps. But there are a few things that I would like to highlight in regard to this. Now, you can have multiple approvers complete one task, or since you're building this approval flow within a form owned by a team, you could drag and drop a team approval into your flow and have the approval or whatever outcomes you dictate sent to all of the members of that team, as we've done here. Now, from here, we can set the rules to complete that approval task, whether we need all team members to approve or say only a few. This one, we only require one person to approve to continue with the flow. We also, of course, have the ability to assign singular approval tasks. We can require signature for our approvers. It really just depends on our workflow. We also have some other advanced options that we can enable within that task. Secondly, I'm going to click back into here. I wanted to inject a quick reminder here that this is a non-HIPAA environment, and there will be some differences as it pertains to viewing submission data within a HIPAA environment and approvers. So in this use case, anyone who is set as an approver with the approval tasks must be a licensed user to be able to log in and submit approval and view sensitive data. Requiring your approver login is mandatory in a HIPAA environment that can be toggled on or off in a non-HIPAA environment, as we've seen here. For this one, we have required that login. Again, for more information on HIPAA versus non-HIPAA, please feel free to reach out to our team. All right, so within our approval flows as well, you'll see that we have the option to include a couple of different assets, including sending our respondents on their form journey. If we want them to fill out another form, we can also send them a Jotform sign document. As I mentioned earlier, if we quickly, let's go back to our form builder, we can add in a signature field to the form itself, which we had done there. And we can toggle on the benefits or off of Jotform sign, which includes disabling submission editing, and it automatically creates an audit trail, as we can see here. Now, if we head back into our approval flow, if we have a use case where we need to gather the information from our form first, and then based on the approval or other conditional branching we can set, we want to send out a particular sign document automatically. Using these approval flows, we can of course, certainly do this. So for example, I have uploaded an example agreement that I want to have sent post-submission and post just all these approvals here. We can take a quick look at this document. If we want to, we can see, okay, who we're going to be sending that out to sign there. And we can even look at the document itself just by simply clicking on the edit button here. This is what will pop up. So in this example agreement, the fields have been mapped out for me, but as we can see by using our builder, we can add the selected fields at our leisure just by simply, again, dragging and dropping. We can also customize the size, the layout, however we want it to appear, and we're going to delete that one. We can also control some of the properties, make them required, et cetera, as we want our document to flow. We can as well, if we go into our settings and send, we can send these out to multiple signatories, or we can have just one signatory on our document. And once we've sent our documents to our selected signatory or signatories, we can view the document status via our sign inbox. So to go in there, we could just go track, or we can always click in to go inbox here. So for here, we can see audit trails for signed documents. Anything that's been completed here will have that audit trail there. Anything that's waiting for us or waiting for others will be here. We can see who's opened the doc, who's signed it. We can send reminder emails, and we can also do a lot more. Now, this is similar to what we would see for our corroborating form submissions. If we head back into our form builder, we can click into the inbox or the tables at any time. Now, within the forms inbox, we can see the status of the approval flow. We can see the status of what's been going on within that flow and the submission itself. We can also see that within the tables. So to get there, again, we would just click here. I do have it already queued up. Actually, no, let's click right into that tables there. Now, tables are my personal favorite. I think we'll see why. Both inbox and tables are a really great way to organize your data as it moves through your process. You can have a bunch of filtration capabilities like approval status. You can connect it to another form if you have multiple forms within the flow. We also have post submission action buttons if you want to optimize your data after it's gone through the entire flow. We can also create a visual report directly within the table if we'd like to showcase our data. Here, we're just going to select it from this one here. And then we do have, of course, this, but as we'll see, we can create a blank report to really customize the report and make it look exactly as we'd like here. Our reporting tool is also intuitive. It's drag and drop. You can do a whole lot more here. We have some basic elements to make it as customizable as possible. The reports can also be shared with external viewers if you don't want them to be able to see the submission tables and just the report. Now, we do also, if we head back into our team workspace, which again, I do have queued up, and we select my reports, we have a couple of other ways to report on your data, but I'd really like to highlight our new digest emails reporting tool. So we just go create report, and we would go digest emails. It's going to look a little something like this. Now we can give these digest emails can come to us on a weekly, daily, or monthly other timeline as we choose. And this is going to give us a snapshot into what's been happening in regard to our submissions for that particular form. Or we can do multiple forms. So we can add multiple forms to the same thing here. And then within that, we can decide, okay, what do we want to show? How do we want to show it for that daily digest? Once we receive the daily digest, it's going to look a little bit like this with the submission data there. So that there is one of the many different options, as you'll see, that you can have for reporting alongside the visual report builder that we saw within our table there. So I know that this was a lot of information and we've really only just cracked the surface of Jotform Enterprise. This was a quick peek into just some of our features and assets. But if you'd like to take a look at what Enterprise might look like for your particular use case, please don't hesitate to contact our team. I'll pass it back to you, Lainey. Thanks so much for your time today.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Kat. That was a great demo, lots of detail there, and also a great summary of all the features available and how people can just drag and drop their way to automation. So as promised, we do have some resources for you. I wanted to highlight our white paper. So if you want to really dig into the details here of the topics covered today, check that out. You can find it under the resources section of the Jotform Enterprise website. If you're looking for some user inspiration, I highly encourage you to check out our customer stories. You'll find examples of people leveraging automation to reduce daily tasks, improve savings and customer service, and also just make a tremendous impact on the world. So all sorts of industries and customers using automation in different ways. If you've been inspired by Kat's demo, as I always am, and you want to try Jotform out for yourself, you can start with any one of our 10,000 free online form templates. 600 of those are actually e-sign compatible. So if you want to start out and test the contract services or see how those audit trails work, by all means, go for that. Check it out. And then finally, as we mentioned at the top of the hour, this webinar is going to be posted on our YouTube channel, which is YouTube/the If you've not subscribed, highly recommend doing that so you're notified of all our future updates. Okay, so that does it for this section. At this time, I'd like to check in with Morgan and see if we have any questions from the audience.
Hi, all right. Well, thank you, Lainey. Thank you, Kat. As always, fantastic information and a lot of it, of course. We do have a couple of questions. Also, as I'm going through some of the Q&A here, if you have any questions out there in the audience, please feel free to enter them in that Q&A box. We'll do our best to get through all of them. Lainey, you just mentioned all of the form templates for e-signature. So one of the questions here is is there an additional cost for Jotform sign? So just wanted to see if one of you could answer that one.
Yeah, sure. So there is no additional cost for Jotform sign. If you're an enterprise customer, you get unlimited signatures. But yeah, it is part of the platform, comes with it. So yeah, you can try that out right away.
Great. Another question here. I think security came up a little bit during this session and obviously very important to everybody, but especially financial services, I think. Can either of you talk a little bit more about the security features that are built into Jotform, just generally speaking?
Yeah, I'm happy to take that. So for Jotform Enterprise customers, we offer SSO integrations as well as role-based access. I think Kat was showing that within the teams. You can have people that just view the data or have full administrative access. And then we have the HIPAA service available, as Kat also mentioned. At the basic level, we have form encryption, and then enterprise customers, we have local data residency. So if you have an international business, or if you're concerned about where you're storing your data, it needs to be in a certain location. You have that option to store your data wherever your business is located.
Great.
Did you want to add anything? I saw you nodding there.
No, yeah, that's absolutely perfect. Nothing more to add there.
Okay.
Cool. There is a question about the Salesforce integration. Kat, I don't know if that's one that maybe you want to talk a little bit about. I'm sure either of you can. Just if you could share a little bit more about this Salesforce integration with lead forms specifically.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't mind taking that one. With Salesforce, we do have the option to pre-fill, so you can integrate directly with Salesforce. And then, of course, we do also have Jotform Enterprise on Salesforce App Exchange, so you can directly connect your Salesforce instance to Jotform and have it pre-fill based on your contacts or any other list or object that you have within Salesforce. We do also have a native Salesforce integration where you can create new records or update new records, or just have it do one or the other based on the connection to Salesforce there. So we do have that direct connection. It's predicated on API, but I would also look into potentially the App Exchange, because you can just do it all in your Salesforce instance.
Yeah, thanks. I'll tag on to that just briefly. That Salesforce App Exchange app that we have is fairly new. We rolled that out last month, 6 weeks ago. And I did recently do a webinar about that. So if you would like more information about that, feel free to get in touch with any of us. We'd be happy to send it directly. You'll also find it on that YouTube channel that Lainey mentioned. So that is the Jotform on YouTube. You'll find that webinar along with a bunch, like a ton of tutorials that are just kind of 5-minute snapshots of different workflow pieces of that integration. So always a good resource, that YouTube channel. So there is a question that it sounds like it gets into conditional logic a little bit. So somebody's looking to automate workflows. So they have one form that asks if it's a new or returning customer. And once they select that, they'll either be either add info like they're new, or select any changes to the form, and then provide them with a follow-up. So it seems like kind of a complex example, but yeah, if one of you could talk a little bit more about some of the options for automating that process where you're following up with somebody automatically based on a submission, I think that would be useful for this case.
Sure, I'm happy to take that one. So you can, as you mentioned, use conditional logic to dynamically respond to a new or returning customer. So you can have the form display or show fields based on their inputs. There's also a number of different types of conditional logic. You can have it perform calculations. If you download and check out one of the form builders, you'll see that in the settings. Also in the form settings, you can opt to direct people to another link or another form. When they complete the form, it'll display that thank you page, and you have the option to, like I say, link out somewhere else, give them another form to fill out. Additionally, Kat was showing the workflows. So you could set up a workflow, send an email notification based on a form response, and add form documents to specific individuals. It's really quite flexible. It's just dependent on your specific workflow and what you need and want to send.
Great. That's yeah, that sounds like a couple different options there. I'm seeing a couple more questions. One, what are the different ways that you can share a form so multiple people can access it, multiple clients can access it?
Okay, sure. So there's a standard basic link. So every time you create a form, there's an automatic link that's created for you. So you could share a form with a link. You can also invite people by email. You can specify those, or as we showed, there's also ways to invite an entire team to something if you want to share in that regard through the team workspace. You can also have the option to share via social channels. And you can also share via an app. And we didn't necessarily get into the app builder too deeply, but there is also a no-code app builder. A lot of people love having the app to share and host resources, either for internal forms or for external stakeholders and customers. It's a great way to just sort of bundle resources for people, especially public-facing things that are just more general interest. It's a great way to showcase your thought leadership and host educational content.
Great, thank you. One other question here, is there a way to display comments from forms between the form submitter and the form receiver?
Yeah, I can take that one. Yes, there is within a multi-step flow, but also within the approval flows, you can select to have the approval comments, whether they're approve, deny, or any other outcome that you specify, show back whenever the form person or your approver, whoever is going to be taking on those outcomes, completes that task. Now, if you want to have like a comment section, you can certainly do that. We also do have kind of a workaround for a multi-step form so that that feedback can be sent back and forth, but you can also do that through the approval flow. So it really depends on your use case, but it is certainly possible.
All right. Thank you, Kat. Last question I'm seeing right now. Again, we have a couple more minutes if there are any others out there, but last one I see right now is how do I customize forms, emails, and folders? I know there's a lot there. So if one of you could talk just, kind of generally about those options.
Sure, I'm happy to take that one. So with forms, you can obviously build forms from scratch, or you can start from a template. And you can also use the form designer to tailor the look and feel of them. As Kat showed, you can drag in images. There's that whole format painter on the left-hand side. So if you want to do something with just a quick click and have like a specific colored background, or you can, detail it down to the shape of the button or the shape of the field. For emails, you can also tailor the recipient, the subject line, and the content of your email for either autoresponders or notifications. So you can select how the form data appears to that recipient, what they submitted or what information you want to forward from a form submission. And then with regards to folders, Kat did a great job of demoing that, but just to reiterate, you can customize the whole team workspace. You can create different folders to organize your forms and documents. How you label them, who you share them with is up to you. You can certainly favorite different things within that workspace. And then once you have the team workspace set up within those folders, you can host resources for either different clients or different departments or individuals. And then you can customize the team workspace with a background and an icon. So lots of different ways to customize things to your own needs.
Well, thank you, Lainey. One follow-up question. I think this will be our last question. So this is a follow-up to the previous question about the comments, sharing comments. Is there a particular resource that we have that we can point to talk more about that? And if not, what would be the best way to learn more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I would check out our Lunch and Learn series on the YouTube channel that Morgan and Lainey have both pointed to. We just recently had a really great tiered series on the approval flows, and also we go over the multi-step form. If you watch those and you're still not 100% sure, if you're already an enterprise customer, please feel free to reach out to our team. You can always schedule a Zoom support call with one of our awesome CSMs, and we can go through and empower you to enable that in your workflow. And if you aren't already an enterprise customer, please reach out to our team. We can always set up a use case review to chat a little bit more about your use case and also make sure it's possible within the platform.
Great. All right. That wraps up our questions. So, Lainey, I will pass things back over to you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Morgan. Appreciate you helping people out in the chat and teeing those up for us. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We hope you're inspired to put these ideas into practice. And as Kat said, please do check out those resources. Reach out if you have more questions. And we look forward to seeing you in an upcoming webinar. Thanks so much.